Can you repeat what you just said?
I said I've just opened the microphone
That's not what you
and
said. You just said, I've just opened it up and I've touched it and
yeah,
it feels much better. You didn't
yeah,
tell
the
me what it
quality,
was.
far
It could have
better
been your
quality.
flies for all I know.
Yeah,
It
far
could
better
have been
quality.
anything. Okay, it's good to know that it's better if you touch it. It feels better.
Boo-Foons Mystery Investigators.
Off the case.
Okay, introduce this thing and then we'll get
Yeah.
going.
Hello, welcome. It's another episode of Boo-Foons Off the Case. So, yes, it's another madness with Steve and I'm Dan, if you hadn't already known, if you didn't know that already. But yeah, that's who I am. It's very different to our Wednesday shows where we talk about mysteries. This one's just us rambling away like two old men in the pub.
This is a very low energy episode, I can tell already.
Well, it's one of those things of, I've sort of, with our Wednesday episodes, I've already, I get the feeling of, this is what we're doing. And I've sort of figured out the general script for the start there. But for this one, I don't really know how to really introduce us as being off the case because it's more relaxed, it's more chill. It's just us and being random.
Yeah, and I think the other problem we have with this one is I can see it in your eyes, you're just worried about what I'm going to come up with. Whereas when we have the Wednesday episode, we have a loose guideline. And so far we've been talking about so many different body functions in these episodes, bodily functions.
Yeah. Well, it does seem to be a theme. We've had the wee episode, we've had the vomit episode, and like this one, the recording started just after you coming back from the toilet to have a big poo.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we've now covered poo.
Oh, we also covered ejaculation into envelopes as well. Probably not in as much detail as some people would want to hear, of course.
Yeah.
And it's not exactly off topic, but do you like kiwi fruit?
Yeah. So do you eat? Yeah, you do. You've just done it there. Do you eat the skin? Because I also eat the skin.
Yes, I eat the skin, and people tell me that it's wrong to eat the skin.
Yeah.
But what's it make you see when you grab hold of one of these? And I don't know. It's I've been told it's too much like biting into a hairy testicle. That's what some people have told me when they eat it. So I wouldn't know. I've never bitten into a hairy testicle. But if they're this tasty, but every time I pick one up, it's like, do you know what? I can see what they're talking about. Maybe it's not exactly lychee level, because lychees, they just too pornographic. Yeah, lychees are the worst things ever, but people love them. What do you think of lychees?
So this episode is a fruit episode at the moment. Which one is lychee? I've never eaten it as a fruit, but I have had it as a flavoring in things, and I don't mind the flavor. So I've never actually eaten it as fruit.
Yeah, too fragrant. I don't like them. I don't like the texture as well. Too again, bit rude.
Yeah.
Now the fruit's been eaten. Let's move off topic to something else.
Well, you wanted to talk about a clown.
Clowns, killer clown.
Yeah, but you see, I think you are giving the clown too much.
No.
Sort of hate.
I'll let you carry on. But I hate clowns.
Yeah.
So please, you tell the story, and let's see what people think, and I will give you my justification why clowns are still evil.
Yeah, well, I will tell the story, but I am very much of the opinion that the clown is just an innocent bystander in this whole situation.
Yeah, but you say good things about Morris dancers too. So you're a poor judge of character.
Okay, so we are talking about the Great Yarmouth suspension bridge disaster of the 2nd of May, 1845. That's what we're talking about. Now, this was because there. So let's rewind a little bit to how this came to be. So, Yarmouth Suspension Bridge had been built and opened for public use in 1829. Now, it was a small. It was a really. So the bridge opened in 1829, and it was the original bridge that was there was a suspension bridge of vertical rods, and it had the width. It had not originally been intended for use of two carriages to pass by each other, and it was widened in 1844. And they do think that it possibly that widening is what caused these events to happen the year after. So Cook's Royal Circus, which was a circus that travelled around Britain in the late 18th century, and actually went on until 1912. I'm assuming it's different people, considering it started in 1780 and went on until 1912, you know. Oh, pardon me.
I'm sure clowns were the same because they feed off virgin blood. That's how that's how you always have clowns. So there will always be children missing when clowns turn up, much like Morris dancers. That's how they're still here.
Yeah.
I'm sure, over that 100 and whatever years, they probably did change clowns.
And acts. So
possibly.
Cook's Royal Circus was doing a bit of travelling, and they put out an advert in Great Yarmouth because they were heading to Great Yarmouth. And they were advertising a clown that was going to do a stunt in the river. And the clown's name...
Best clown name ever.
Yep. Arthur Nelson. Arthur Nelson. What an amazing name. Arthur Nelson.
Yep. That is, you're talking clown. Yeah, you got Pogo, you got Funzo, you got Arthur Nelson. The great names in clowns.
Yep, Arthur Nelson. Yep, Arthur Nelson. Yeah, and he was
serial killer to me.
Yeah, well, he was advertised. So the advert says, "Mr. Nelson, the celebrated clown and modern Yorick." That's what he's advertised as, the modern Yorick. Well, he was the modern Yorick 200 years ago.
Yeah.
So he's now the not so modern Yorick. Yeah. Alas, poor Yorick.
Alas, yeah.
I knew him, Horatio. Horatio. Hang on.
Not Horatio Nelson from Great Yarmouth.
That is the line, isn't it? From, alas, poor Yorick, for I knew him, Horatio. That is the line, isn't it?
I think so. I'm not very well educated.
And we're talking about a clown called Mr. Nelson, or Arthur Nelson, Horatio Nelson, Great Yarmouth. There we go.
It's all linked, honestly.
It's all linked. But yeah, the advert said that as part of the circus arriving into Great Yarmouth, it says Mr. Nelson will sail on the River Bure, starting from Yarmouth Bridge to Vauxhall Gardens at 5 o'clock. He will be in a washing tub drawn by 4 real geese. So this stunt that they've got planned is he's going to be sitting in a washing tub, and there are going to be 4 geese pulling him along the river. Which, to be fair, if somebody said to me, if you come down to the river at 5 o'clock, you're going to see somebody sitting in a wooden tub being pulled by geese, I'd turn up.
Yeah.
I'd go. Yeah. I'll
Does it say
definitely go
that
to that.
he stole the idea from another clown?
He probably did, to be fair.
Yeah, he did. Apparently, there was another clown who did the act, and he just stole it. But this other clown also had a carriage drawn by cats, pulled by cats. So, he just would steal this other clown stuff constantly. Very funny. Which is why I know he caused this intentionally, because he already shows he has very poor character.
Yeah. Well, it looks as though the actual trick behind it was that there was a rope underneath the water attached to a rowing boat, so it's actually being pulled by the rowing boat, not by the geese. But still cool.
Can't trust a clown.
So anyway, 2nd of May, 1845, 5 p.m. A large crowd has assembled around the area of the suspension bridge in order to see this clown coming along. Now, the flood tide comes down, so the water is quite high. Several thousand people are watching to see the clown from the riverbanks. They've estimated there were near the footway of the bridge, there was at least 300 people. And the crowd concentrated at the southeastern corner of the bridge, though the bridge was far from full as the carriageway was still passable by carts. So at 5 o'clock, we got a bit of a scene gathering. Few people around the bridge and on the bridge. Not that many people in the grand scheme of things on the bridge. There's still room. But suddenly, at 5:40 p.m., disaster happened. So the clown, Mr. Nelson, is coming down in his tub with his geese. People have moved to get a better look. And as they move, it actually causes one of the iron rods to give way because of the amount of weight that suddenly concentrated on this one particular area of the bridge. So one of the rods gave way, the chains snap along the side, the bridge tips over and catapulted the occupants into the waters below. There was a scene of panic as the horrified bystanders attempted to rescue those who were struggling to reach the banks. Others managed to scramble ashore by themselves, and a call was put out for every medical person in Great Yarmouth to attend. And the injured were treated in Vauxhall Gardens at the west side of the Bure, and in private houses all along the east side. As the rescue proceeded, it soon became clear that not everyone had survived, as one by one, bodies of those unfortunate victims who had either drowned or had been crushed by falling bodies and sections of the bridge were pulled from the river. As the evening progressed, the full horror of the death toll became apparent as the bodies of the victims were laid out in the Norwich Arms Inn, the Admiral Collingwood and the Swan public houses. So 3 pubs they were laid in. The youngest, Mary Ann Lake and Charles Dye, were 2 years old. The oldest was Mary Ann Ditcham at the age of 64. And one of the 79 people that lost their lives, so of the 79 people who lost their lives, 58 of them were aged 16 and under. The Norwich Mercury reported on the 10th of May, in every street are to be seen one or more bodies extended on biers, returning to that home from which but short minutes before they had passed in health and life. The consternation, the agony of the town is not to be described. It is as if some dread punishment was felt to have fallen upon its inhabitants. Every face is horror-stricken, every eye is dim. Many of the victims were buried in St. Nicholas's churchyard in the town, and there is now, I saw a memorial made of granite has been put up. So a memorial to it with the names of all of the people that sadly lost their lives.
Yeah. So, it is a very sad story. But it is a clown who intentionally murdered all these children. And even if he didn't do it, he went planning to kill. This is what clowns are. Clowns are killing machines. They will either physically kill you get something else to kill you, just like Final Destination, or just drain your soul. They're just evil. I mean, but that's the highest death toll for any clown in one go.
Yeah, well, it does say it's the highest death toll in one incident in a Norfolk town or village. Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, and they haven't. And I checked, and clowns are still not banned there.
No, because there's a circus there.
Yeah,
I love the Hippodrome
they'll ban
Circus.
animals. They'll get rid of the animals, but they won't get rid of the clowns. And I don't get it. You know, how many animals, circus animals, haven't killed that many people? I mean, look at the bad press John Wayne Gacy had, and he got hardly anything compared to that. But honestly, clowns, right? Why? Why? Just why? What do they have that's any good for anybody?
What do you mean? Why? Like,
do they bring joy? Do they bring happiness? No, they bring fear and death.
I do like clowns in a circus. They make me laugh.
You're just saying it to make me angry. Just like saying you've got friends who are
it's like
dancers.
You know, like you just said, they're not banned there. Hippodrome Circus. I've got loads of fond memories of the Hippodrome Circus. And when I used to go there as a child, the sort of main ringleader was a clown, and he was just funny. He used to walk around with a whistle, blowing things. And I remember one day,
comedy.
Yeah, no, he would go around.
The height of Norfolk comedy,
blowing a whistle and pointing, and that was how he communicated and stuff. A bit like a mime. And I remember he got my uncle and a few other people up into the ring to do a little thing with them where he made them all look stupid.
Comedy, okay, I can see. Yes, wonderful.
What it was funny.
He's humiliated in front of all these people by a clown. At least he didn't kill them.
Yeah, and I was laughing at my uncle because he made my uncle do stupid things in the circus ring. It was funny.
Can you imagine if they tried to make me do that? What I would do? Can you imagine the headlines in the newspaper?
And to be fair, they don't have a clown anymore.
Thank you. See, they were eventually banned.
It's now the owner's son as the ringleader, and he's usually paired up with a comedian.
Oh, and that's it.
And they do like a bit of double act as they introduce all the different acts. Yeah. No, I maybe we keep coming back to Great Yarmouth for stories and things. Maybe we need to go to Great Yarmouth and then we can go to the Hippodrome Circus together.
Yeah, we need to do a field trip.
Yeah.
It's a long way, though. It's 350 miles from here. It's a long journey. I might have to fly.
Yeah, for you it's that long. For me, it's not that far.
But we can't both go if we just rely on you. It'll just be you.
Yeah.
Right, and also, right, Pogo the Clown, right? John Wayne Gacy.
Yes.
He murdered 33 boys and young men in just, 6 years?
Yeah.
Why do I not see any of these protesters saying, let's make the place safer for men and boys? Because they seem to be the majority of murder victims. These massive crimes always seem to be men and boys. It's like, let's protect our men and boys from killer clowns.
I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted here because I've just read here, right, that clowns have traditionally served as socio-religious and psychological role, and traditionally the roles of the priest and the clown have been held by the same people.
That explains it. Get close to children so you can get in there. The clown gets them in, the priest does the rest. So what we can do is we can look at crimes by clowns and priests, combine them as they're one and the same. I hope we don't have any priests listening to this. Any clowns, turn off. You're not invited. You know, they're like, when every time like Electronic Arts in the last few years would do a woke game to a point where they say, if you don't like it, don't play. And then they realize they lost like half their share value overnight. That's what I've just done. If you're a clown and you don't like this, if you're a Morris dancer, don't listen. I just want to see how figures just plummet now, because it turns out everybody who's listening was a clown or a Morris dancer.
Yeah, but
I got to say, the weird thing is, right, saying what I've just said about clowns and how much I hate them, a couple of my favorite films ever are clown-related films. Which I don't know if you've ever seen it. Apocalypse Clown. Apocalypse Clown, the Irish film.
Yeah, you showed it to me.
Yes, absolutely. Funzo the Clown.
Yes.
Funzo is one of the greatest characters in a film ever. I recommend it. Apocalypse Clown, little Irish film, so funny.
It's very. It feels very. It feels like what's his name? The Father Ted writer.
Yeah, it feels like
What's his name? Graham. It feels like Graham Linden's written it. Yeah. It feels like
so it's okay.
Yeah, he hasn't written it. He's not linked to it, but it feels like one of his comedies.
And the guy in it, he's from Afterlife or something. One of those, not Afterlife or the other one, the Ricky Gervais series.
He is. Yeah, he's from Afterlife. He's the one in Afterlife that does all the jokes that are very inappropriate.
Yeah.
It's that guy, isn't it?
What a great film. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
One of my other top films, which I adore, is Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Which is in one of my top 50 films, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So I hate clowns, and I love it as well. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great because, like I said, I'm not religious, but I love watching these like religious horror movies.
Yeah.
So I love things like The Omen and When the Devil. I don't believe in it.
Maybe you like clowns more than you actually think. Then
maybe because it's shown true representation of clowns rather than this fake representation. Because they are killers, so Killer Clowns from Space. It's just confirming what I believe. Apocalypse Clown. They're all psychopaths. Unstable psychopaths. So I think as long as they're portraying them in the correct way, I'm all up for it.
Yeah, and actually, most films that have a clown in, the clown is. Now, do you reckon? Oh, pardon me. That clowns are used in horror movies has made people think that clowns are these scary things, or do you think that clowns are scary things, and then it's just that would be great.
Yeah, I think clowns are just scary things, and I think the whole deal with it is the makeup, the fact they have drawn-on smiles, and they don't usually. The whole idea it's a sad person pretending to be something else. It's like you're seeing something that's lying to your face.
Yeah,
that's the feeling, because they got this big smile drawn on, big expressions, lots of color, but you look past that and you see a miserable, soulless person who just doesn't look like they actually enjoy life, who would kill you if they could because they hate kids. They all hate kids because they have to work with them.
Yeah.
It's like pretty much a teacher, I guess. They got to work with a smile drawn on their face, and they hate kids. Not all of them. No. Not all the kids. Just some of the kids. But no, I think it's that. It's like, I think it's the fact that you're seeing something that doesn't match up, and I think subconsciously a lot of people look at that and say, "There's a big smile there. It's pretending to be happy, but that person is not happy."
Yeah.
So that's where I think it is, really. I think it's just because the image is dark when you see past it. Because when you look back at those paintings back in the 50s, 60s, there was a load of art came out with that weird 60s style of clowns, and they'd always be crying. Then there was Tears of a Clown, the song, and there's all this, but they've got this big. The whole thing is about you're happy, but you're not.
Yeah.
And you're only one step away from that to drowning 58 kids in a bridge. Or sticking 33 boys and young men in a fridge after eating them.
Now, last Saturday episode, I challenged you with a bit of a quiz. Now, I don't know if people out there, enjoyed it or not, but I thought let's do it again.
Okay.
If you want to. I've got some films prepared again, and it's going to be the same as last week, where I've got 3 films, and again it's going to be a case of I'm going to give you the wrong character. So, and then I'm going to give you a really bad synopsis of the film. So you obviously then have to figure out what film am I, talking about. Right. Oh dear. So the first one, Princess Leia, chases her ex, who is Craig Baker.
Craig Baker. Okay. But this is
actually now I've just seen what Craig Baker is. We'll ignore that, but it's fine.
So this isn't the Blues Brothers again, is it? Did we do
it's the Blues Brothers. No, we didn't do Blues Brothers last time. No, I used Elwood from the Blues Brothers.
That's it.
Yeah, no, yes, it is. Yeah, the Blues Brothers.
Okay, cool,
cool. Obviously, everyone knows who Princess Leia is. Carrie Fisher. Yep. Craig Baker. Now that I've looked at that, is John Belushi giving his voice to a cartoon.
Okay.
And I've just seen, right, I was just like, oh, it's listed here. It looks like an innocent cartoon as a spoof of Tarzan. Yeah, no.
Oh, yes, I know that one.
It's not. Yes. It's Tarzoon, Shame of the Jungle. Yes. And now I've seen the poster for it. There are weird penis creatures carrying a surfboard with a naked lady on it.
Yeah. And it's really handy because when he's swinging on a vine, she swings on his vine.
Yeah, Bill Murray gave his voice into it as well.
Oh, yeah. This is all a thing back then because Ralph Bakshi was making all that kind of stuff. Fritz the Cat was hugely successful in that time. So there was all this underground. People had a weird sense of humor back then, but it was great.
Yeah, I need to search for this to watch it because it sounds absolutely bonkers.
Okay, read the synopsis then, come on. And any reviews you can find.
Well, so...
What was it called again?
Tarzoon, Shame of the Jungle. There's not a synopsis, but there is a very long plot. So this is how it opens. The film takes place in the deepest part of Africa. The evil, bald, and 14-breasted Queen Bazonga, who resides in a blimp inside a cave shaped like a woman's leg spread apart, open for revealing her vagina, plans to conquer Earth. Before she can do that, however, she wishes to have a full set of hair so people could take her seriously. Her two-headed assistant, called Charles of the Pit, suggests a scalp transplant, an experiment where someone else's hair is transplanted to another person's head. Bazonga demands that she wants the hair of June, the Maid of Shame, ruler of the jungle. Bazonga sends out her penis soldiers to kidnap June. That's just the opening.
Yeah. It's okay, so it takes place in bush country. I like it, bush country. Yep.
Yeah. It's like that weird film that you showed me about the sperm.
Oh, yeah, Spermageddon?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're still waiting for the English dub of that. But that was crazy. They all die in the end. Who'd have thought?
Yeah, well, that sounds right. I'm gonna have to look at that. Right, next one then.
Please don't be another X-rated adult cartoon.
Yeah, no, it's not. So, Miss Moneypenny meets the Scarecrow and think they're going to be saved by the Doctor.
This is tricky because there's been multiple Miss Moneypennies. There's been multiple Doctors, and who is the other one? And there's been multiple Scarecrows.
Scarecrow.
But which? Okay, give me a clue. Which version of the Scarecrow are we looking at here? Are we talking Cillian Murphy? Are we talking about because he was Scarecrow in Batman.
There you go. Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
that's who we're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, I was
Cillian
going to go
Murphy,
through Wizard of Oz Scarecrows as well. Okay, and Moneypenny, are we talking Samantha Bond? Or are we talking way before the original Moneypenny?
No, we're talking about Miss Moneypenny, as in Eve Moneypenny, but not. But no, not Samantha Bond. No.
Okay.
So there have been four people to have played Moneypenny.
Okay. Okay, and who's the other one? The other character?
The Doctor.
The Doctor. Okay, so read me the synopsis one more time.
So, synopsis: Miss Moneypenny, meets the Scarecrow, but you've got him now, Cillian Murphy, and they think they are going to be saved by the Doctor.
Okay. And are we talking a Doctor Who here?
Yes, we are.
Okay, and of course, there's not been many of them, have there?
No, 14.
Sorry, how many? 14.
Yeah.
Okay.
But to be fair, considering that it's Cillian Murphy, you can pretty much knock out most of the Doctors.
Yeah. So we're talking sort of. Are we talking the most recent Naomi Harris as Moneypenny?
Yep, Naomi Harris. Yes.
Oh, I know. I've got it. I got it. 28 days later.
It is 28 days later.
Yeah,
yes.
That's it. I got it. Yeah. Do you know, I forgot that was her in that, but I just remembered, Eccleston and as this, the officer and that little bunch of psychopathic soldiers.
Yeah, well, I watched it a movie night when David came over, and he goes, "Oh yeah, there's loads of people that you're going to recognise in this one." I was like, "Okay," and it opens up, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's that Cillian Murphy guy. Okay, cool." And then Naomi Harris turns up, and David goes, "'Cause you know who that is, don't you?" I'm like, "No, I don't," because she's so like. Yeah, that was one of her first roles, wasn't it? I think. I was like, no, I don't recognise her at all. And he goes, no, you do know her. He said, he said, well, there's one film that you don't like her in, but there's two films that you do like her in the same series.
Yeah.
And I was like, right, so there's a series of films where two I like and one I don't like. He's like, yeah, one of them gets you really, really angry. And I was like, right, a film that... He's like, she's in James Bond. I went, no, she's not. I haven't. And then suddenly it clicked. I went, yeah, she's the new Moneypenny. She's Daniel Craig's Moneypenny.
Do you know what?
And then a bit later, when Christopher Eccleston turns up, I was like, wait, what? Christopher Eccleston's in it? No, and even before that, Brendan Gleeson just casually there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. He I got to say though, with that Daniel Craig Bonds, I was so excited. I loved Casino Royale. Casino Royale. I took a day off work to go see it, and I saw it like twice. Luckily, it was really good, and it plummeted, went downhill so quickly for me. I despised them, hated them, all of them. So, I mean, that's why I'm really pleased now. They're releasing the Bonds, as in the actors who played Bonds, as box sets for them, so you don't have to get the crap ones.
Yeah,
but I still think Timothy Dalton is my favourite Bond. I just think he was too ahead of his time. I think if they'd done Bond like him, it would have been so much better years later.
Yeah, you see, and I don't know if it's because he was the first Bond that I discovered, but I quite like Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, no, for some reason I couldn't get on with him either. But I like Pierce Brosnan, love him, especially was it Gangland that he's in now. Yeah, he's good in everything, Pierce. But I just didn't think. Yeah, I think I was just a bit miffed that Timothy Dalton didn't last as long as he should have done. So it could be unfair. Yeah. I could just be like, I don't like you because you replaced the character I did like. So maybe it's not him. It might just be me just being a bit, You know me. I don't ever hold grudges against anything or anyone for no reason, apart from clowns and Morris dancers. But they are dangerous and scary things.
Yeah.
Did you have any more, or is that it? Did we do three,
Yeah.
or did we do two there?
Well, we've done two. I have got a third one.
Okay.
I have got a third one if you'd like it.
Yeah, go on.
And it's quite funny because we've sort of already done one of them.
Okay.
So I'll just go for the big clue of well, let's just go for yeah. Yeah, should I give you that? Should I? Yeah, go on. I will go for right. So I will say James Bond
Okay.
is the leader of a group who are stopped by Scotty and Ricky Knight. So James Bond is in charge of a group of baddies and are stopped by Scotty and Ricky Knight.
Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No luck catching them swans then.
Who's Ricky Knight? Which one's that? Well, that's Nick Frost.
Yeah, that's Nick Frost.
What was he Ricky Knight in?
Fighting with My Family. That was the one about the WWE wrestler Paige.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's right. Yep. And didn't like John Cena or somebody turn up in the end or something? I can't remember. There was
The Rock.
Oh, The Rock. That's
It was Dwayne Johnson. Yeah. So
that's it.
I
Nick
watched
Frost,
it
right?
because like I know I
You
used
like
to be a really big fan of wrestling when I was at school, secondary school. And this segment will really please one of our listeners because he loves wrestling. So this section is dedicated to you, Cliff, on the N64 Life podcast. This is dedicated to you. But yeah, so I was always aware of WWE. Well, it was WWF when I watched it. Before they got rid of the animals and decided to do WWE. Little bit of a branding joke there. That's why they changed it to entertainment. Good. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
That is why it changed from WWF to WWE because of the charity.
Everybody just wanted to see fighting pandas, and they were disappointed.
Yeah. But yeah, so and then Paige I was aware of purely because the EDP, which is the Eastern Daily Press news paper across East Anglia, did a news story about Paige becoming, because she is from a family who all did tours of wrestling around like holiday camps and things.
Okay.
And I've seen them do a fighting thing when I was on holiday one year near Great Yarmouth, and I actually saw them do a wrestling thing routine, and actually saw them there. So I've actually seen Paige fighting, but before she was Paige. So when this film came out, Fighting with My Family, knowing that they were because I knew they were from Norwich and Norfolk and that sort of thing, I was like, well, I definitely 100% need to watch this film when it comes out. So I did actually go to the cinema to go and watch it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when you came round and there was you on film nights, and there was Luke was here and you were here, and all you did for hours, I think, was talk about wrestling. Because
it wouldn't have been all night because my knowledge is very limited to a very short period of time of WWF.
Okay. It seemed like ours to me.
Yeah.
Somebody who has no interest apart from Hulk Hogan in the 80s.
Yeah.
And and Andre the Giant. That was my knowledge. Oh yeah, The Rock and John Cena. That's my knowledge of wrestling. Anybody who became an actor. When I say actor, as far as Hulk Hogan goes, that's in the loosest term of the loosest sense of the word. But yeah, it just seemed like it was all night. Me stuck in the middle of you two talking about wrestling. and your childhood memories of men in lycra.
I want to
sweaty men in lycra grappling each other to the ground.
You see, I moved from wrestling to boxing.
Yeah, I think he did too.
Yeah, I prefer boxing myself, but yeah.
Well, I think because one is both. I mean, wrestling is, as far as the stunt work goes, incredibly physical.
Yeah.
So much respect to the guys doing it, because the level of fitness they have to have is insane. But boxing is too, well, unless you're some boxers we've seen recently who have just dropped to the floor and pretended that the boxing matches we watched are ridiculous. But when you got some boxers who are literally fighting for everything, you don't get that with wrestling. You might get that with MMA, but you definitely don't get that with wrestling. It's bad. It's bad. There's just something, isn't there, about seeing men beating the crap out of each other. Sandy, my wife, will come down and she'll be the one standing up, screaming, cheering. The bloodlust is insane. I'm sitting there like, yeah, this is interesting. And she's up there screaming about kill him, knock his head off.
Yeah,
it's like
that's because of all that pent up rage that she would love to knock you out.
Yeah, knock me off.
And, yeah, so what she's actually doing is
she
rather than just instead of rather than hitting you, her release is watching boxing and screaming at boxing, going, and in her head she's imagining that it's you in the ring.
Do you know what? Now you've said that, I don't blame her at all. I don't blame her at all. I think, if that's what she's got to do to get through the day, any day with me, then that's fine. Oh dear. But I was going to say, Nick Frost, have you ever seen Into the Badlands? I don't think it ever got a proper screening over here, but it's a TV series, martial art TV series. He turns up in the second series out of, I think it's 3 or 4. It's a great series, and it does actually resolve itself. It's a proper full series that tells a story and ends at the right place. So you don't waste your time by watching it. You won't waste your time by watching it. But Nick Frost turns up in the second series as a martial art master.
Right.
And how much he did himself and how much the amazing stunt work was done by somebody else, I don't know, but it looks like he is like the best martial art master there is. And very big, very large at the time, like he always is. I think he's lost a lot of weight recently.
He has,
but it's a great show. Very violent, very interesting. It's sort of set in a future where oil is the commodity and every society's broken down. There's only survivors around. It's like Mad Max, but not in the desert. And martial arts, people don't really have weapons because gunpowder production is now gone. Guns, but they fight with martial arts. They fight with swords and stuff. It's great. So Into the Badlands, watch it. And then of course he did Cuban Fury, which, I mean, I'm not into dancing, but watching Nick Frost dancing in Cuban Fury was amazing. And he's making dancing look cool. Nick Frost is a really good actor, really good personality. I do
really like that. A lot of the films that I've seen him in, I end up going, I like this. I like this a lot.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, he did one. He did like 3 horror films last year, and one of them, which I thought was going to be good, turned out to be really bad. I think it was called Black Cab or something. He was like a cab driver who was a bad guy. But then he did this other one with his family on vacation. They went off to like Sweden, to this island in the middle of nowhere during a festival, and you just know this is like psychopaths on an island.
Yeah,
and it's like him and the family. But that was really good. That was so much fun. Totally unexpected. And then he did that weird film that was like a Finnish film, where it was like it looked like it was taking a mickey of 1980s comedies, American sitcoms, and it went like completely off the rails but it was like, it looked like then it turned out it was all in his mind because these terrible things have been happening in this story. But it was like a crazy sitcom that just got more and more violent and bloodthirsty. So he did 3 horror films last year, and they were, that's pretty good for a guy who wasn't really an actor, who only sort of got into it because his best friend was a comedian. I think that's what it was.
Oh, is that how he got into it?
Because he was best friends with Simon Pegg. I think they were like working in Nando's at the time, and he just sort of like dragged him along for the ride. If I remember rightly, that's how it sort of went. I think he tried stand up because Simon Pegg was doing it, and got into stuff because he was best friends with Simon.
Oh yeah, I've just googled it and found it here. So yeah, he was working in, so it was Chiquito.
Chiquito.
That's a franchise that I miss. I used to like
Yes.
Chiquito. It was when you went in and they immediately plonked one of those sombreros on your head, and you're like, "Yep, this is Mexican." Yeah,
Not racist or stereotypical.
yeah, that was the bit of Chiquitos I liked, was the fact that I was given a sombrero to wear, and I'm now sitting there wearing my sombrero, eating Mexican food. Arriba, arriba, arriba.
Luckily, I'm
Yeah,
just looking at we got no listeners from Mexico, so we're okay.
yeah, but yeah. So yeah, and he was shared a flat with him, so he lived with him, like you said, and then it was. Then Simon Pegg and Jessica Hines were just casually wrote him into space and just went, right, here's a part that you're going to do. Yeah.
It was brilliant. And he stole
Yeah.
the show. I mean, Spaced is amazing. Spaced is amazing. I've never heard it, but I want to get the US DVD release of Spaced. I want to get the US DVD release of Spaced because the audio commentary is done by Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, wow.
Because he's such a fan. So
Yeah.
I've just never heard that. I desperately want to hear that.
And actually, I've just realised those three have all been in Doctor Who. Oh, how great would it be if they became the showrunners of Doctor Who? Oh, that would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would be so cool. Yeah.
I think with their love of pop culture, Simon Pegg, not necessarily. I think he kind of lost his way recently after his comments about Star Wars fans after the worst Star Wars films coming out. And no, it's not because everybody's racist and misogynist. It's just because what we're producing is crap.
Yeah.
I go back to Star Wars, right? All this thing about all the fans being misogynists. They're guaranteed there's hardly any fans who didn't like Cara Dune as a character. Cara Dune in The Mandalorian could have taken that franchise. One of the best characters in Star Wars, and because of whatever jealousy, Kathleen Kennedy had to destroy her because she had the fame and the celebrity that she wanted and couldn't achieve. That's all it was. So they got rid of the hope, the great hope of Star Wars. Nobody would have complained about her. She's not Rey.
We're back onto wrestling because she's an MMA fighter, isn't she?
Well, she was, didn't she? She did it for a couple of years. And apparently she did it because she was getting overweight and she decided to go to the gym and get fit. And then somebody at the gym, they were doing like sparring, and she said, can she ever go? And next thing you know, she's really famous just for a couple of years doing that. But Gina Carano, I think she's excellent. She's that film Haywire. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't. No.
Ah, so good. Ewan McGregor, Michael Fassbender. There's a load of famous people in it, and she leads it. It's her film.
Ewan McGregor, my favourite clip of Ewan McGregor is on the have you seen the one of him on I think it's Graham Norton he's on the Graham Norton show when he's talking about the kids that were speeding in the car.
No, I haven't seen that one.
It's brilliant. So he's telling this story about the fact that it was while he was living in LA, and he said his kids were in the car with him, and this car went past them, and he said they were all young. They were all about 16, 17 in this car, and it was speeding. And they got to a traffic lights, and as they stopped at the traffic lights, he decided to wind the window down of his car to shout out the window at them to tell them that they need to drive more sensibly because they will kill themselves or somebody else. And he said he's having a real go at them. His kids are in the back of the car trying to hide themselves from embarrassment. And he said he then realised that their faces were looking at him thinking, it's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi. So these kids, and that image, whenever anybody says Ewan McGregor, I just immediately think of that clip of him just going, it's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Well, it's unfortunately, for me now, all I think about him is the same as Simon Pegg, him sitting there saying that all Star Wars fans are racist and homophobes, and it's like you're just producing crap, Ewan. You just produce something good again. Don't just sign up for the money.
Yeah.
Do something that people will actually enjoy watching, then there won't be any criticism.
Well, that's what Harrison Ford said. Like he was never going to come back to Star Wars, and he made it quite clear. I'll come back for the money, and he has made it clear in what what he's been talking about in all the media, that he only returned for that one film because they gave him a lot of money.
Harrison Ford is a funny character because he has changed and influenced so many people, but he doesn't give a damn. For him, it was just a job. It's a job. I did my job. I don't care. It doesn't matter that it meant so much to so many people. It's like, I don't care. It's such a shame to actually be like that. But on the other hand, it's so good to be able to be like that.
Yeah.
Just imagine how much money he could have made in appearances if he went to conventions all the time.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have to. He's Harrison Ford. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. It's brilliant. I love it. But I also hate it. I hate the fact he didn't love what he did and didn't appreciate what he was giving people.
Unlike Mark Hamill, who I absolutely love Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we won't go into political ideologies, but as an actor and as a personality, he's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
It's
Just
the way how he
now.
does just, go, yep, here's the thing. He was it. There was, the Batman series where he's the Joker.
Yep.
There was a brilliant scene I saw from it the other day where it was here Mark Hamill as an actor was there. They kidnapped Mark Hamill, and in the car you had the Joker, Scarecrow, and I think one of the others characters who are all voiced by Mark Hamill. So in this car you had himself being kidnapped by himself, being trapped in the car and threatened by himself. And then the scene ends with I think it's the Swamp Thing saving him and stopping the car and saving Mark Hamill. And the Swamp Thing is also voiced by Mark Hamill. And there's a few jokes along the way about the fact that it's all just Mark Hamill.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I've got to say, I've never known anybody pronounce Mark Hamill the way you do. But I can see why, because that's how it's spelled.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so weird, but yeah. But everybody's always said Mark Hamill, but you're Mark Hamhill. But that's Hamill, because that's how it's spelled. It's weird.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that ever. I've never thought that.
I tend to do this quite often where I've rarely heard people say another word and I say it how I think it should be said based on the spelling. And then it's only when people say, well, actually, it's said like this. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah.
But I mean, you know me, I can't pronounce anything, so I'm the last one to judge. Yeah. I struggle with everything. I've realized listening to these podcasts, I very rarely finish a sentence.
Yeah.
It's so weird. This is really good because I'm going to certainly try to improve and make. I finished again, haven't I? I finished, but I didn't finish a sentence.
Yeah, you do that quite a lot. And when I'm sitting there editing, sometimes it's a case of I'm like, oh yeah, this is sounding like it's going to be something really good that Steve's about to say, and then you don't say, and then you don't finish the sentence, and I'm like,
what's his brain? This brain, I just get, it just does this all the time. But yeah, I listen to it and I'm thinking, is that Dan just editing out the end of my sentences, or is that actually? Then I realize it's me. Then I'll start asking a question, but not finish it. Just start off with the answer. Yeah, it's just the way I am. I've got to improve on that because when I'm in a really important meeting at work, it's never good to finish. Especially, there you go, finish a sentence. But it's everything I do. Like, before I finish, I'm skipping to the next thing.
Yeah.
This is why I hate, but also love watching back at these podcasts, listening back to these podcasts, because it does make me cringe when I realize how, I was going to use the R word then, how special needs I am.
So I've just remembered to Google a question that I asked earlier, before we even started recording. We were talking about we were actually chatting about the Chuckle Brothers earlier
Yes.
before we started recording. And I said I wonder whether it is just Paul now, or whether any of the other brothers are still alive. I've just Googled. One of his other brothers is still alive.
Cool. That's nice.
Yeah, because I did wonder, because obviously I know that Barry's dead, which is the end of the Chuckle Brothers, and I was like, well, what about his older brothers, which they were a double act as well, weren't they? The Patton brothers. One of them, James, died. No, sorry, wrong one. Which one? Jimmy, is the one that's died. So Brian is still alive. So what they could do is, even though his brother that's still alive is 92 and he's 78, they could make a new double act. Maybe they could just actually use their surname this time, because the Patton brothers were the Patton brothers and he was the Chuckle Brothers. Maybe they could just go for the Elliott brothers.
Yeah. But you're right. They're probably a bit too old for that now.
Yeah,
they're probably a bit too old. I think it's time to move on. I mean, or of course they could just do what the Wachowski brothers did and just become the Wachowski sisters as a whole new thing. Matrix was never the same after that. The new went downhill. The Matrix did, and the only difference is 4 less testicles. That's controversial, I know, but I don't care. How can you improve a film? I don't know, get testicles involved.
One of my favourite Christmas jokes is, what's the difference between a snowman and a snow lady?
Obviously snowballs.
Snowballs. It's one of my favourite Christmas themed jokes, even though it's not Christmas at the moment, but there we go, there's a Christmas joke.
Yeah.
You'll have to remember that one when it is Christmas in a few months' time.
And I just thought that thing what I just said about testicles goes all the way back to kiwi fruit again. So we're back to the start.
Yeah, we're very good at this, of going off on loads of random tangents and then magically bringing it back together again somehow.
Yeah. Well, I hope you've found some really good things to break up the constant nonsense we speak in, just to break it up and make it worthwhile listening in.
And unless I just leave it as it is, of just us being us, we'll see.
We'll see if the figures keep plummeting.
Yeah.
But I think maybe do we think we should try getting a guest in one week just to talk about nothing?
Yeah, we definitely should.
Not paranormal related, not mystery related.
We definitely should, and we've got loads of people who have said they want to come and talk to us about various things.
Yeah.
If you are or are not enjoying these random Saturday episodes, do let us know, because if you're not enjoying them or you know a way to improve them, let us know. Or just keep listening to the Wednesday episodes. Just listen to the Wednesday episode twice. Listen to it on the release day on Wednesday, and then listen to it again on a Saturday. You
sound like you're begging, Dan. You were begging, please.
Well, let's be honest. Who is actually at this part of the episode? Not many. But if you are at this part of the episode, thank you for being here.
Yeah. Tell us which you prefer, Bell End Rose or Wet Willy. Or was it? No, it wasn't Wet Willy, was it?
I can't remember what you were saying now. Bye.
Bye.
Boo-Foons Mystery Investigators.
Off the